It's minimum city, maximum apathy when it comes down to the city of Mumbai. 12 people today killed in a building collapse in Mumbai's Ghatkopar area. A 4-storied building collapsed in Damodar Park on the Lal Bahadur Shastri Marg. The building housed a maternity home and 16 apartments. 30 to 40 people are still feared trapped in the debris of this building. The building's name, Sai Darshan, built in just 1980. Let's just look at that. This building was built in only 1980 and has fallen down like a pack of cards. According to reports, some construction work was going on inside the building on the ground floor where a nursing home functions, which is owned by a Shiv Sena leader. Sources suggest that civic authorities were not informed of this interior work. Interesting that this work was carried out by a Shiv Sena leader who owns the maternity home.
BMC की पूरी टीम, लीडर ऑफ द हाउस, स्टैंडिंग कमेटी चेयरमैन, इंप्रूवमेंट कमेटी चेयरमैन और सब नगर सेवक, हर पार्टी के नगर सेवक, इधर पार्टी का सवाल नहीं, इधर जो हादसा हो गया इसलिए सब पार्टी के लोग इधर इकट्ठा मदद के लिए हो गए आए हैं इधर। मुझे अभी तक तो पता नहीं है, अभी एक आदमी बोल रहे हैं तो हम लोगों ने एडिशनल कमिश्नर और हमारे जो वार्ड ऑफिसर है यहाँ के कापसे मैडम, उनको बोला है हम लोगों ने कि इंक्वायरी करो और इंक्वायरी करके उसमें कोई दोषी रहेगा तो उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए।
ये 10:40 को ये पूरा गिरा, मेरे पास मैं फोन पे बात कर रहा पापा के साथ, तभी ऑन द स्पॉट तभी हुआ।
तो आपको लगता है कि पिताजी अंदर दबे हैं? कब
ये साइड नहीं है,
कुछ पता है कैसे हुआ था ये?
अभी कुछ बोल नहीं सकता,
पता चला है।
हाँ, ललित और उनका लड़का वो शायद स्कूल छोड़ने के लिए बाहर आया बोल के इतना संदेशा मिला था। बाकी मेरे भाई की लड़की है अमृता बोल के, और उसका एक बच्चा, छोटा बच्चा है 4 महीने का, और मेरी बहन, ये तीनों तो अंदर थे।
खबर उनकी जानकारी कुछ
नहीं, अमृता को निकाला है बोले, वो हॉस्पिटल लेके गए, कुछ तो ऑक्सीजन वगैरह लगा, इतना मैं सुना था। अभी बहन तो अभी तक नहीं मिली थी।
We are right now standing at Ghatkopar location where the building has been fallen down. This building name is Sai Darshan. It's a G+4 building. The incident took place at around 10:30 a.m. That was a call to the fire brigade team. At least 15 fire brigade team is around. All the local authority people are around. The NDRF team of around 30 members is at the spot to remove all the situation is that the local people in such a big crowd, it is getting very difficult for the local authority to remove the entire rubble from this particular location. So the information that we are getting is that at Rajawadi Hospital at least 4 dead bodies have been reached, 6 to 7 injured have been reached, and the ambulance are here in a large number. So this is we have been told that maybe around 10 to 15 people might be stuck inside, and for that the NDRF team have been called to remove them. So now it's a situation where it will take a lot of time to remove all these building areas, and in fact it's an area where a lot of old buildings are there, dilapidated buildings are around. So now the threat is that after this building, the local people are in a fear that in the rainy season there could be a situation where many more buildings could find such kind of a situation. With camera person Raju Revanka, Virendra Singh Nawat in Mumbai for India Today.
Well, this is the tragic picture of Mumbai's descent to an urban hell. What we do know, there are many who are still possibly stuck under the debris. I want to go directly right now to Virendra Singh Nawat, who's joining me live from Ground Zero, Ghatkopar. Virendra, what are you hearing? What is the latest? Have anybody been pulled out yet? What do authorities fear? How many people still trapped under the debris?
Preeti, we have been told that around 10 to 15 people are still lying inside, and one of the miracle case study has been come out where one of the person who is still trapped inside the debris, he has a mobile phone and he's in touch with his relative outside. So that's something miracle, because the NDRF team are putting all their efforts to remove that person from that particular location, because they are getting the signal, that that person is trapped in that particular zone of the debris. So that is one of the case study, but definitely almost 12 people have been dead and many injured. Some of them are very seriously lying in ICU in the Rajawadi Hospital, and another hospital in a local area. But a very important aspect is that the Shiv Sena corporator is the person allegedly who is responsible for all this entire incident. The hospital that belongs to that particular person, Sunil Sattab, that's the name of the Shiv Sena corporator, and all the survivors, even the survivors who came out, and the local people, the neighbors, they are pointing our finger that he is a person who started the renovation in that clinic. He closed the clinic since last 10 to 15 days. He created a renovation situation, and later on this incident took place. So definitely, as of now, the rescue operation is going on. But people around at Ghatkopar location where we are standing, they are quite angry because the angry is that because he's the corporator, his responsibility is to save the people.
Virendra, can you get us some reactions
for this local area? But now exactly, because these people would like to speak in Hindi because this is a local area. ये बताएं कि जो बिल्डिंग गिरी है उसको लेकर आप क्या कहेंगे? क्या लगता है कि इसमें जिसके ऊपर आरोप लग रहे हैं कि भाई शिवसेना कॉर्पोरेटर है, उसने गलती की है, उसने रेनोवेशन किया है, एक आम आदमी क्या सोचता है जो इस इलाके में रहता है?
ये है कि बीएमसी की लापरवाही की वजह से सब हो रहा है। बीएमसी बराबर अपना काम नहीं कर रही है, सड़कें ऐसी पड़ी है।
सड़कें तो ठीक है, लेकिन जो बिल्डिंग गिरी है उसके लिए तो बीएमसी जिम्मेदार है, उसके लिए तो कॉर्पोरेटर खुद जिम्मेदार है।
जी हाँ, कॉर्पोरेटर को भी देखना चाहिए था उस बिल्डिंग के बारे में। तो बिल्डिंग के कुछ पिलरों का मसला था, उस वजह से ये हादसा हुआ।
गुस्सा आता है जब इस तरह के अगर नेता लोग भी यही काम करें तो लोगों की जान जाती है?
गुस्सा तो बहुत आता है, लेकिन क्या करें, खाली नोटिस दे डालते कि बिल्डिंग खराब है। यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी 2-3 बिल्डिंग ऐसी है खाली हो चुकी है, लेकिन उसको कुछ करा नहीं जा रहा है। अगर वो गिर गई तो आजू बाजू जो रहते हैं वो चले जाएंगे।
बारिश में अधिकतर ये होता है?
बारिश में ये अधिकतर होता है।
आपको कुछ कहना है कि अगर इस तरह का अगर हाल अगर यहाँ होता रहा, चाहे घाटकोपर में या कहीं और भी, जिसके लिए अगर जिम्मेदार कोई नेता ही हो, तो आम आदमी क्या सोचता है?
आम आदमी क्या सोचेगा? ऐसी परेशानी रहेगी तो सब खत्म हो जाएगा।
क्या खत्म हो जाएगा?
सब यही खत्म हो जाएगा जब ये सब फोकस काम कर रहे हैं सब ये बिल्डर लोग।
These are the people, the local people who are seeing the corporator, the builder. These are the, they have the nexus, to do all the illegality, and that's what is happening in Ghatkopar area. So these people, definitely they have not big voice, but they have the concern that this situation shouldn't come again and again.
Well, that's the question, and that question needs to be raised. Isn't it time that criminal accountability now be fixed on every death due to negligence? That's a question that we're asking right here on India Today. We're going to come back to you, Virendra. Virendra Gunawat reporting right now with over 10 people still trapped under the debris of that building in Ghatkopar. And it's interesting to note that building just built in 1980, just 37-year-old. Every day in Mumbai, a new tragedy is coming to light. A grim reminder of the crumbling infrastructure of the city and abject apathy of civic authorities. Risky roads that are full of potholes, citizens being crushed to death by falling trees, and a city that has become an urban nightmare, an urban hellhole. It is the financial capital of the country's richest civic body. But despite that, Mumbai today is crumbling. Protest, outrage and anger of the citizens is now growing. They are demanding better amenities and a city that is safe for them to live in. But is anyone listening? Let's take you now to another case where it seems like the city of Mumbai slowly descending into an urban hell. We showed you visuals of that building where 10 people still trapped under the debris. Let's just go to yesterday, where in a tragic incident, a 35-year-old woman biker in Palghar was crushed to death by a truck in an accident due to a pothole. One of the tires of her bike which she was riding got stuck in that pothole, after which she fell off only to be crushed by a truck. But what's worse, the sheer apathy of Maharashtra's PWD minister, who's now denied that that woman even died due to a pothole. However, India Today's correspondent went back on the road and pointed out 10 potholes which exist. Listen in to the shameless minister.
तो वो रोड अभी 10 करोड़ रुपया खर्चा करके CRF सेंट्रल रोड फंड से बनाया है, उस पर एक भी गड्ढा नहीं है.
You can see how huge potholes here are. Everywhere on this stretch from Kasa to Dhanu, there are huge potholes all over the road, and this road connects to Nashik. So this is a very important road.
Well, that comment coming in by the PWD minister, the stench of apathy, forces us to raise questions that need now to be answered. India Today asks, is this not criminal civic negligence? The other question that we put forth, is it not time to completely restructure the BMC, the richest civic body in Asia? And lastly and most importantly, is it not time to fix criminal accountability in death due to negligence? All right, I want to cut across to Shailesh Gandhi. He is a prominent citizen of Mumbai. He's joining us live. Shailesh, and we have Virendra Gunawat as well and Saurabh, both reporters joining us for more. Shailesh, who takes responsibility here? And isn't it time that somewhere down the line, accountability, criminal accountability now be fixed on our netas, be fixed on our cooperators whenever there is a death due to negligence?
Whenever there is a death due to negligence, the first people to be taken account of is the bureaucrats. At the end of the day, we've made it a very fancy thing, blaming the politician for everything, and politicians are to blame. I'm certainly not disputing that. But I think the real culpability lies with the bureaucrats who are supervising the work, who lay down the work, who gave the specifications. However, I want to take this to a slightly different plane in terms of potholes. What's happened is it's become an annual ritual talking of potholes and these accidents and saying BMC and all are not okay. What we really need is good roads, which can be easily achieved. Recently, a biker from India, Dhillon, traveled 1500 kilometers in Sri Lanka and found only 5 potholes. Whereas in India, in Mumbai at least, you can't travel 15 kilometers without locating scores of potholes. What's the solution? The solution really lies in talking of good roads. It's simple to do that. Specify longer guarantee periods. Our guarantee periods are very low. Guarantee periods of 5 years and 10 years are common across the world. Hold the contractors accountable, and that won't happen with a corrupt BMC system. The simple solution is, in a Google map, every citizen should be able to see each road and figure out what's the contract period, what's the warranty period, and who's responsible, the engineer responsible of BMC and the contractor responsible. If we do this, we may be able to get out of this. Fixing potholes has become a focus and an annual expenditure in which evidently money is being paid and there is corruption. There is no disputing that. But I think we need to get out of it, and I would submit that citizens and media may probably have to take the lead. Our elected cooperators are not acting. Our bureaucrats are not doing their job. Can citizens and media take this up and say we want better roads? Let's solve the problem of bad roads, then potholes will not really become a problem.
You know, the question that, we'd come back to is, other than the citizen and the media, is it also time for somewhere down the line the judiciary to step in and mark criminal responsibility, criminal accountability for every death due to negligence? We're going to come right back on that question. But with what we were talking about earlier, the shamelessness of our political leaders. A young woman of 35 years old dies because her bike hits a pothole and then a truck runs over her. And a shameless PWD minister comes on national television and says there are no potholes on that road. India Today reporters went back for a check. Listen in.
तो वो रोड अभी 10 करोड़ रुपए खर्चा करके CRF सेंट्रल रोड फंड से बनाया है, उस पर एक भी गड्ढा नहीं है.
You can see how huge potholes here are. Everywhere on this patch from Kasa to Dhanu, there are huge potholes all over the road, and this road connects to Nashik. So this is a very important road.
All right, I want to go across to Saurabh Vaktania. Saurabh, you filed that report a short while ago. Once again, how many potholes did you find on that road where that young woman, 35-year-old, lost her life?
Well, there are countless potholes on this road. You cannot count them. There are n numbers of potholes. The minister says that 10 crores are spent, but not even 1,000 rupees must have been spent on this potholes remaking. If from this Kasa to Nasik, this is so important. Now Shravan is going on. People are going walking. They use this state highway. This is Maharashtra state highway. But the condition of the potholes are so bad. Another the shocking incident part was that the woman who died on the spot was crushed by the truck. There were not even one single ambulance who could come to the spot and pick her. Her body was lying on the spot for over 45 minutes. Here is when 3 tired tempo cars The body of the biker is put in this tempo, taken to the hospital. Not even a single PWD official,
right.
not a police officer, not an hospital. So you can see how staggering this incident was.
Yes, and then the PWD minister comes on camera and denies everything, says there's not a single pothole. Why? Because 10 crores has been spent on that road on your television screen. I want to go to Devesh, who's standing in front of another road which is dotted with potholes. It's over to you, Devesh.
See, we are at Ghatkopar, and we found n number of potholes. Amar Mahal flyover, which is a very important flyover, and the arterial road connecting from Ghatkopar to the Eastern Access Highway. There were n number of potholes on the stretch. We were at a point, at a location where there was a pothole which was almost a feet deep. Every vehicle that was passing from there, passing from the spot, got stuck at the pothole. We spoke to many drivers, we spoke to drivers at the spot, and they said that their vehicles have been damaged, bikers have been injured, but BMC, despite several complaints to the local corporator, to the local civic body, to the ward office, there have been no repair works that have been carried out at the stretch. There have been n number of potholes. This is a story which goes on every year, but all this falls on deaf ears. BMC doesn't do anything about it. Only thing they do is a makeshift stone chip and tar repair work, that is like a makeshift work that they do to cover up the potholes. And once it rains heavily, Mumbai is a place where it rains very heavily, and these potholes keep coming out every rainy season, every monsoon, and there's been no remedy for it till date.
All right, Devesh, thank you for joining us. What we're going to do is we're going to go into a quick break, but we're coming right back to the story where we're going to Ghatkopar, where we are going to be joined by Virendra Gunawat, who's still tracking the story. Over 10 people still stuck under that debris of that building. Shailesh Gandhi, prominent Mumbai citizen and social activist, will also be joining us on the other side. The city of Mumbai is at the brink of a structural collapse. 12 people have been killed in a building collapse in Mumbai's Ghatkopar area. We are joined by Virendra Gunawat, who's getting us the very latest, where with what we know right now, still 10 people stuck under the debris. Only yesterday, of course, a 35-year-old girl lost her life when her bike hit a pothole and a truck ran her over. A woman going for a morning walk on your television screen, struck by a palm tree, dead. And the richest civic body in Asia just sits, watches and passes the buck. I want to go to Mr. Gandhi, who's joining us. He's a civic activist. Mr. Gandhi, what's the way out? You said the media, the citizen, has to take an active role in this. What about the judiciary? Is it not time, sir, for the judiciary also to step in and possibly fix criminal accountability to every death that is lost to negligence?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, our judicial delivery system has become dysfunctional as of this time. There are simple solutions possible, but the judiciary and the government is not willing to take these up. Really speaking, the problem is very, very small, and a simple thing can solve it completely without the judiciary having to change anything. But that's not happening. But in the meantime, I would submit that as far as the roads are concerned, if media and citizens could start focusing and saying we want road performance guarantees, there are good contractors who can come in, but they are not coming in because A, there's so much corruption. Even if a good contractor tries, unless he pays bribes, he cannot get payments. Therefore, all transparency in tendering systems comes to naught. The judicial system is open to delays, and if somebody is powerful, rich and shameless, he can delay a case by as long as he lies until he dies. Right. He will not have to pay for it.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gandhi, for joining us. A quick word, Virendra Singh Gunawat, who's getting us the latest. Very quickly, Virendra, you know, it's still raining in Mumbai is what we hear. What are we looking at in terms of rescue operations?
That's true. Let me come to speak to one of the person here. ये बताएं कि जो बिल्डिंग गिरी है उसमें नेता का इन्वॉल्वमेंट इसमें है कि आपको लगता है कि इन नेताओं के ऊपर अब क्रिमिनल एक्शन होना चाहिए, कानूनी कार्रवाई होना चाहिए?
देखिए, पहली बात तो ये जिसने भी ये जो बिल्डिंग गिरी है, लोग इतने लोग मर गए इसमें जो दब के, तो ये नेता लोग को जो भी यहाँ के जो रहनुमा बने हैं, जो यहाँ से जीत के आए, उनका काम था कि वो बिल्डिंग को नोटिस देना कि गिरने वाली है।
एक्शन क्या होना चाहिए?
एक्शन तो होना चाहिए ना। अभी इनकी इतने जन फैमिली जो मर गई, तो उन पर तो एक्शन तो होना ही चाहिए कि इनको नोटिस देना चाहिए था कि भाई ये बिल्डिंग से हट जाओ, ये गिरने वाली है। वो बिल्डर को
नोटिस नहीं दिया था। क्या आपको लगता है कि जो नेता अपने खुद के अस्पताल के अंदर रिनोवेशन का काम कर रहा था, जिसके कारण बिल्डिंग कमजोर हो गई और गिर गई, उनको जेल में नहीं जाना चाहिए, चाहे वो नेता हो या कोई भी हो?
अरे नेता हो, नेता का बाप रहो, उसको पहला जेल में डालो, कोई भी रहो। ये जो काम जिसने किया है, जिसने इतने लोग किसके माँ बाप मर गए, किसी के छोटे छोटे बच्चे मर गए, इनको पूरे इनकी फैमिली को अटैक करो, ताकि कभी ये लोग नेता नहीं बन पाए।
Say something. Wait a sec, Preeti. Okay. Wait a sec. That's a different issue. But in a quick word, people are quite angry about this entire incident. So let me get back to you, Preeti.
Thank you for joining us. Virendra Gunawat reporting through the course of the day. Sadly, 10 people still stuck inside the debris of that building. We're going to keep getting you the very latest there. Prime Minister today held a meeting with Gujarat state authorities to plan a course of action for flood relief in the state, which has already claimed over 60 lives. The Prime Minister already surveyed the worst hit areas of Bansakatha, where at least 10,000 people have been evacuated. Over 25,000 people have already been evacuated from the worst hit areas of the state. A statewide high alert has also been declared. The Indian Air Force has been deployed, and roads and highways in Gujarat have been blocked because of the floods, completely inundated. The NDRF, Army, Air Force and BSF have been working around the clock to rescue the stranded and distributing relief packets. To remind you, the death toll is now at 67.
400 जितने लोगों को रेस्क्यू करके हम लोगों ने यहाँ पर पहुंचाया, अलग अलग जगह पर, सेफ जगह पर। अभी की बात है, अभी 200 जितने लोग मुझे लगता है कि अभी भी फंसे हुए हैं, उनको रेस्क्यू करके बचाने का काम एनडीआरएफ की टीम, लोकल पुलिस, आर्मी और बीएसएफ की टीम कर रही है। 3 एयरक्राफ्ट भी उनको लैंडिंग करके रेस्क्यू कर रहे हैं। मुझे लगता है कि आज थोड़ा बारिश कम हुई है, जो ऐसा ही रहा तो शाम तक काफी ठीक हो जाएगा।
से दो दिन से वहाँ पानी बहुत गर्म था, तो हम घर ऊपर चढ़ के थे, 2 दिन उधर है।
आपके साथ कितने लोग थे?
लोग तो बहुत ज्यादा थे, लेकिन अभी तो वहाँ पे खड़ा है, तो वहाँ पे 10 लोग आए, बाकी वहाँ पे नदी में।
Well, the borders of Gujarat bordering Rajasthan are completely inundated. My colleague Devankur Vadhavan is joining us from Jalore, Rajasthan, as well as Mayuresh, who's getting us the latest from Mount Abu. It's over to you, Dev. Get us the latest.
Well, Preeti, I'm standing right now in Jalore, and the situation is extremely bad out here. For the last 48 hours, it has been incessantly raining out here, and if I can ask the camera person to show you the visuals behind me. This is the Sapeda village of Jalore district, which is completely inundated, and several villages, at least 5 villages which lie on the other side of this entire inundation, are completely cut off from the rest of the district, which means that whether it's vegetables, essential supplies or other requirements that one needs during for day-to-day affairs, all of that has been interrupted. I have several villagers with me to tell you how the situation is and how it has interrupted their daily lives. आप बताइए कितनी दिक्कतों का सामना करना पड़ रहा है। आर्मी, एनडीआरएफ ने आज काफ़ी बचाव कार्य किया, उस बारे में बताइए।
जी, हमारे गांव में आसपास के बेरों पे जाने में दिक्कत आती है, प्लस हमारे नज़दीक मंडवला है, बिशनगढ़ जाने में दिक्कत आती है, प्लस राशन वगैरह में दिक्कत आती है, प्लस हमारे गांव में पानी आने की संभावना रहती है।
आप ये बताइए कि कितना फीट पानी है उस साइड पे, और आर्मी ने कितना बचाव कार्य किया है, एनडीआरएफ ने कितने लोगों को बचाया है आज?
यहाँ हमारे नज़दीक गाँव डांगरा में बहुत सारे लोगों को बचाया, प्लस हमारे आलासन में भी बचाया लोगों को, और सैला में बचाया लोगों को। यहाँ पे 8-9 फीट पानी चल रहा है।
8-9 फीट पानी चल रहा है। और ये बताइए कि जो लोग फंसे हुए हैं उनके लिए कितनी दिक्कतें हैं? उनके पास ना तो राशन है, ना सब्जी है, वो किस तरीके से अपनी दिन चला रहे हैं?
वहाँ पे तो बेरों पे बैठे हैं, वहाँ ना तो खाने की चीज़ है, ना राशन वगैरह है, ना दूध वगैरह है, वो लोग फंसे हुए बैठे हैं बेरे पे, दोनों तरफ पानी पानी है। सारा लेना पड़ता है।
Well, Preeti, as this person was telling you, there is an extreme shortage of daily supplies of vegetables, of medicines, and that is why people in remote areas of Jalore, of Pali, Sirohi, Mount Abu are at the receiving end of
all
this.
Right. You know what we're going to do is, I'm just coming in there, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut across to Mount Abu, which is also completely inundated with what we hear. It's over to you, Mayuresh.
Yeah, certainly, Preeti. Right now, I'm standing in Abu Road, Tehsil. We had been to Mount Abu in the morning, and where the 733 mm rain was recorded in 24 hours. We are being joined by Suresh Kumar Ola, who's a SDM over here in Abu Road. He will give us information about what kind of how evacuation process took place and what kind of efforts government has done. So tell us in a brief that what kind of evacuation process or when this evacuation process happened, because we got to know that at Mount Abu there is not that trouble, though they have recorded the highest rainfall ever. But the villages which are at the base of Mount Abu, they have got affected. So tell us more about it.
Yes, actually the villages lying near the bankments of the river West Banas, which are badly affected, and we have rescued around 700 to 800 people yesterday, and it was done with the help of the local administration, local civil society groups, and the local politicians. And some NGOs were also involved. They provided us buses, jeeps, and other facilities, and the food is being arranged by local social groups and mainly by the Waqf board in the Abu Road. And now after 24 hours situation is improving a little bit.
So it's been 4 to 5 days that it is continuously raining at Mount Abu. So what kind of forecast you got from the local IMD over here? Will it be the same, or the rain will stop?
Yeah, according to the forecast that we have received before half an hour, I think from tomorrow morning situation will improve. And
so, yeah.
Yes. And yesterday we were facing problem of networks and electricity supply issue in Mount Abu, but around 11 PM yesterday we were able to restore the electricity supply, and I think network issue will be resolved by tomorrow morning.
So that's what we heard from SDM over here.
All right.
Yes,
okay.
please.
All right, Mayuresh. Thank you for, stay with me. Let's cut across to Gujarat right now, where Mustafa is tracking details. Mustafa, tell us where you are. It's over to you.
Yes, we are in the Patan district as of now. This district was very disturbed and flooded with water till this morning. But as the water has receded, the main achievement of this administration, the local administration in these areas, is that the villagers in thousands of numbers were evacuated yesterday evening, and that's why they survived the night. But they have suffered huge losses in terms of the land and cattle. All the villages in Patan are known for milk, dairy manufacturing and production. So we can say that in coming days in Gujarat, the prices of milk are likely to rise. But as of now, what is happening is the rescue teams are reaching and providing help and food to people who are near the riverside villages. What happened yesterday night was that the doors of dams in Gujarat were opened up due to the overflowing of water, and this insistent rain coupled with this water which was left out from the dams led to the flooding in many areas and many villages of these districts, and that's when the crisis started. But as we were saying, that as the villages were out, the main loss which has happened is of property and is of their farms, but the lives have been, we can say that they have been saved as of now. And since this morning, it's not raining as heavily as it was raining yesterday. So there is some sigh of relief for the people of Gujarat here.
Well, just hope that continues there. Appreciate you joining us, Mustafa, Mayuresh and Devankur. We're going to come back to all three of you for more updates. All right, news just coming in. India Today exclusive. Our channel has accessed the NIA's secret dossier on stone pelters. India Today has exposed now JK48, the ringleaders of stone pelters. 48 ringleaders who organized stone pelting across Kashmir Valley. Scientific probe tracking their WhatsApp, Facebook, social media footprint. What we do know right now with what we have accessed, that 10-member NIA team is tracking 28 WhatsApp groups. Some based out of Pakistan. Separatists paid the ringleaders to organize stone pelting against security forces. 48 ringleaders traced after tracking over 5,000 mobile numbers in the valley. After separatist ringleaders of stone pelting gangs will now be arrested soon. A massive crackdown coming in where the NIA is concerned. India Today has accessed a security dossier of the NIA, which has actually pointed out, called JK48, pointed out 48 people in the valley who are considered ringleaders of stone pelters. Men through which funds are being funneled by separatists to the stone pelters to continue fomenting trouble in the valley. Now, scientific data tracking their WhatsApp, Facebook and any other social media footprint. What we do know that a 10-member NIA team is tracking 28 WhatsApp groups, some based out of Pakistan. I want to connect to Shuja ul Haq, who is breaking this news on India Today. Shuja, after the arrest of 7 separatists, now a big crackdown on ringleaders of stone pelters. Give us details.
Preeti, can you repeat that question, please?
Shuja, give us details of the dossier that you've accessed.
Well, you know, like you were pointing out, these are very important details that are coming out. We've been told that, you know, there are various WhatsApp groups and accounts which are, you know, constantly working, and the NIA has now prepared a list of it, and they are, you know, investigating all of them. Remember, this is something that the intelligence agencies and the security forces on the ground here have been constantly pointing towards. Off and on, we've been hearing about, you know, from sources that how WhatsApp groups and social media accounts were used to fuel tensions. There have been, you know, various instances when even during live encounters, there were audio conversations which were constantly being circulated so that the people around could gather, and then, you know, incidents of disturbance could be created. So putting all of it in perspective, now it seems that the NIA has taken that also, you know, into account, and that aspect of this entire matter is also being investigated.
All right. Thanks, Shuja, for joining us. Let's quickly bring in Executive Editor Gaurav Sawant joining us from the newsroom. Gaurav, a systematic crackdown by the NIA arrested 7 separatists yesterday on the back of India Today's expose. Now, of course, 48 ringleaders been identified, and all possible they would be also arrested. Give us details.
This is a scientific investigation carried out by the National Investigation Agency based on electronic intelligence and snooping on those who were guiding stone pelters. Now, these 48, and India Today's Jitendra Bahadur Singh has accessed that secret dossier of the NIA, which lists out 48 names, Facebook profiles, telephone numbers. These are 48 ringleaders of stone pelters who would be present virtually at every big stone pelting event across the Kashmir Valley ever since terrorist Burhan Wani was killed. Now the money trail is being established. These 48 will be called in for questioning. Incidentally, some of these stone pelters would be paid by these separatists, then they would organize their stone pelting gangs. All 48 would assemble a day before stone pelting in that respective areas, pay the stone pelters in advance, and then stone pelting would happen. India Today has been saying it all along. Now there is scientific evidence in the form of this dossier that Jitendra Bahadur Singh has accessed, and based on that, now these stone pelters will be arrested, and the security forces are of the perception, with Hurriyat leaders in jail, with stone pelters under the crackdown, there will be a drop in stone pelting, and gradually perhaps it will come to an end.
All right, thank you gentlemen for joining us, Shuja and Gaurav Sawant. So NIA coming down on separatist and ringleaders of stone pelters in the valley. But let's take you to our big India Today impact. Well, it could easily be called the biggest ever impact of a high voltage expose, and the news quickly tightening around Kashmiri separatists. 7 separatists arrested yesterday, produced in court today. The NIA sought 18-day custody of the accused. Hurriyat leaders have been charged with criminal conspiracy attempting to wage war against India, committing acts of terror and raising funds for fueling terror and unrest in Kashmir. The crackdown began when India Today captured on camera 3 separatist leaders owning up to Pakistani sponsorship of the Kashmir unrest. The arrested separatists include Bitta Karate, Naeem Khan, Altaf Fantoush, who is also Said Ali Shah Gilani's son-in-law. The NIA has also said that the big fish now, including Gilani, Mirwais, will not be out of the net for long. Meanwhile, National Affairs editor Rahul Srivastav spoke to Union Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad. Listen in.
How terror is fomented in Kashmir. Now the NIA has 7 people who have been one of those instrumental, one in fomenting trouble and receiving funds from Pakistan. The India Today expose category that. Do you think now there is a conclusive evidence, one, the Pakistani role and also of the separatists in Jammu and Kashmir in creating the fissures which are now active?
You did a great job on your channel, whereby you conclusively established that separatists were doing the bidding of the Pakistani elements as far as funding is concerned. You did a good job. My greetings to your channel and your people. And Government of India is doing its own duty. It has been doing it earlier also. Our view is very clear. Armed Kashmiri wants peace, wants amity. So many people are joining armed forces and the police forces. Kashmiris are becoming IAS and IPS. But certain separatists who have a different agenda at the bidding of forces hostile to India from across the border are fomenting trouble. They will not be spared.
India got its 14th president today. Newly elected President Ramnath Kovind took oath in the Central Hall of the Parliament at 12:15 this afternoon. Grand ceremony attended by all 3 arms of the government, legislature, the executive and the judiciary. The president will now head all 3. Here's a look at how the big day unfolded for India's 14th president.
The new president began his day with a visit to Rajghat along with wife Savita to pay homage to the Mahatma. Pomp and tradition was in full display as Kovind met Pranab Mukherjee at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The two then went to the majestic Rashtrapati Bhavan forecourt, where Pranab took a salute for the last time. Pranab and his successor drove down Raisina Hill to the Central Hall of Parliament in a black limousine, escorted by the President's bodyguard. The road from Rashtrapati Bhavan to Parliament was lined by soldiers who saluted the new Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. Ran high as Kovind's extended family soaked in the big moment.
बहुत बड़ा दिन हम सब के लिए, परिवार के लिए, देश के लिए, और हमारी सबसे यही उम्मीदें हैं कि आपकी दुआएं साथ रहेंगी। वेरी हैप्पी।
कभी आपने सोचा था कि कोविंद जी जो है एक दिन भारत के राष्ट्रपति बनेंगे?
नहीं, कभी नहीं सोचा था।
बहुत ही खुशी की बात है जो हमारे चाचा इस सर्वोच्च पद पे पहुंचे हैं।
And then came the ceremonial ride back. Pranab Mukherjee, now just a citizen, accompanying the new occupant of Rashtrapati Bhavan, where Kovind formally took over after signing the register. Bureau Report, India Today.